Kick Action Media presents Where No Pod Has Gone Before.
Welcome to Where No Pod Has Gone Before, Episode 4. We're going to be talking today, this is Argyle, your co-host for Where No Pod Has Gone Before. And I'm joined with my dear and old friend, Pharmacist, sorry.
That's okay. Pharmacist. We're here in the Wormhole Studios.
And we're going to be bringing you some track news today, some Star Trek news, hot from the headlines, ripped straight from the Post. And we'll also be polishing off an old idea of who the best Star Trek captain is.
Captain Speak.
That's Captain Speak, and we're going to be, comparing sizes, and I think Janeway's going to win. So
Janeway's going to win big.
Yeah,
win big.
Just spoiler alert. We're talking captains.
Captains, get ready. Strap yourselves in because coming up here, first off, we got some news going on out there in the Star Trek universe right now. But before we go on, you can always get in touch with us on podbefore@gmail.com. That's PODBEFORE. As if I didn't need to spell it for you, podbefore@gmail.com.
We'd love to read your feedback. We'd love to hear about what you thought about what we said, contradict us, complain to us, and correct us, because we know we need correcting.
Yeah, and I got to say we're a very user-friendly podcast in the sense that we don't know it all, but we know someone out there who does. So for you guys who know it all, let us know if we're in the wrong universe or if we're talking about Princess Leia or something, because that's the wrong universe, and just correct us when we're up, and we'll let you know. We'll give you a shout out too on the podcast. So keep them coming, and we are on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, or no, like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook, yeah.
Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Where No Pod Has Gone Before. We've got, I think we have like 24 followers on Instagram, and then on Facebook right now we have like 67. So it's not bad. It's not bad. Could do a little bit more out there. So tell your friends, friends, and everybody like that, and follow us. So before we go into anything, let's just go into the news real quick. There's a few headlines out there. Argyle, let me know if I'm stepping on any toes. I have a few different headlines going on.
Yep. No, just hit us.
Right now, I just finished an article that was talking about William Shatner was on Big Bang Theory.
A shot.
They just got done filming,
yeah.
I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they did an episode with William Shatner and Kevin Smith, director of Clerks and other assorted. Actually, he's Arrowverse director extraordinaire nowadays.
Wow.
But it sounded like a lot of fun. I don't have too many additional details about the episode or what went on, but it sounded like everyone had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we're talking about William Shatner, he's on a tour right now of different screenings of Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan. Each event's going to feature, Captain Kirk on stage live, and he tells stories and he regales us, with I believe there's going to be a Q&A also with all this. So he's touring around the country. Awesome. I think it started in, we're looking at February 7th, probably through, I think, May. He's going into May. So if you're in California, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, well, you know where it is. Take a look at trekmovie.com.
He's all over the place. And as I have had the amazing privilege and pleasure to have seen Shatner live in 2014 at a Minneapolis Comic-Con. And got to meet him. Got to. I have my picture with him and my brother-in-law. And his if you ever get a chance to see him live, take it, because it is well worth it. He is he is an amazing storyteller. His Q&A sessions are so informative, and every Q&A that I've seen on YouTube is a little different. I mean, he doesn't just come out with his standard routine. He really customizes it for his audience.
That's very cool, and that's actually a shout out to a lot of the bands that are touring right now. Change up your playlist. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's just anyway. So yeah, William Shatner. He's coming to Starfest this year. I believe in April.
Really? Here?
Yeah.
All
and
right.
so it's
in Denver time.
Denver, Colorado.
Everybody.
Base of the Rocky Mountains.
The Rocky Mountains,
Rocky
everyone.
Mountain High.
Look at that. I believe this was over Christmas. He also released a Christmas album.
I have
which
that.
I have as well.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
have not listened all the way through because my children don't care.
Oh, okay.
And and so like whenever I throw it on the Bluetooth, they tell me where to go, and they're not even teenagers yet, so that's fantastic.
Speaking of William Shatner, he's got some great albums. The last few albums have been really good. He's recorded with Joe Jackson and all these other people. Amazing. I mean, look him up. Look up his recordings too. But this Christmas album, wow,
It was amazing.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
it's
it.
beautiful.
It's some of the best versions of the carols.
The classics, yeah.
Really.
Yeah,
So
and anytime Henry Rollins comes back to to give us his pipes.
People of Central Indiana actually are about to go boldly where no one has gone before. They have a basically just an exhibit out there. It looks at the world of Star Trek. Now, you can find this at dailyjournal.net, but basically it's just a really cool exhibit for, young kids and old kids out there at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. So, you're going to be in a transporter simulator. You can create a short film showing you being beamed to another location.
Wow.
They have a cool replica of a captain's chair, all that goodness out there. So if you're around that Midwest area, out there in Indianapolis area, it's worth to kind of look up and check it out, because if you're a Star Trek fan and you have something like that around you, you got to go to it, because, quite frankly, a lot of the original cast and some of the Next Generation cast are getting older. So, I don't know. Just kind of gives you a feeling of immediacy of going to see some of these things.
Yeah, whenever you can see any of these cast members, you never know. I mean, we've lost several in the last few years.
Yeah,
and these are exhibits. These are cultural locale events that you just can't miss.
Yeah. Speaking of which, characters that are getting older, one really cool name that I never thought was going to appear again, really, at least in the Star Trek, was Patrick Stewart. One of my favorite actors from the Shakespeare days when I was learning acting. He was one of the big ones because he just had such a big...
Jean-Luc Picard.
Just a big thing about him. Well, a big presence.
Brogue.
There you go.
He's I'm not going to say diminutive, but he's an average sized dude who just brings a force tour de force.
Absolutely. So he's got a new series coming out.
So producer, I think Alex Kurtzman, who is the producer and showrunner of Star Trek Discovery, is bringing back Jean-Luc Picard. He's not going to be on the bridge of the Enterprise. He's going to be out of Starfleet for several years. He's going to be dealing emotionally with a lot of baggage that I think comes with post Nemesis, even post the disappearance of Ambassador Spock.
Yeah,
which chronologically would have happened, and the destruction of Romulus.
Romulus, yeah.
Which coincides with the timeline shift to the Kelvin universe, to the Abrams movies. But so this is happening post all of that, and I don't know how many years or decades past that it's going to happen. Haven't really heard too much about other co-stars or plot line, but anything to see Captain Picard and to see where the universe has kind of gone. He's left Starfleet behind, but you're still going to see from a chronology junkie standpoint, like from myself, I just want to see where they canonically are going, and then also just seeing that character and seeing him aged, seeing what kind of cameos they can bring into the show, if any, and really seeing how they can do a track show with Jean-Luc Picard without the Enterprise.
Absolutely. I mean, and honestly, Patrick Stewart is an actor who has done numerous one-man shows. He did a magnificent Christmas Carol. I don't know if you ever caught that one-man show.
I did.
The guy knows how to stand on his own. So, I mean, obviously, it'll be a home run. Hopefully, it'll be a home run when it hits the cameras and everything. And
another reason to chip in and pick up that CBS All Access.
I know that that CBS is doing a good job with all that because they know the fandom is going to be hooked in with this. So
yeah, and it looks like they're doing several track properties, so they're not being chintzy with it. So other than Discovery, which we'll get into in a second, as the 4th episode of season 2 has aired, they're also, aside from the Jean-Luc Picard show, they're talking about spinning off the Pippa.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Yeah. So and my co-host, the Pharmacist, is still moving through season 1 of Discovery,
getting through
and maybe we should put on the spoiler alert klaxon here. Wee-oo, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. But Captain Pippa Georgiou, played by the wonderful Michelle Yeoh, returns in season 1. She is killed off in the first 2 episodes, the first 2-parter, the pilot. But she returns as the Mirror Universe version of herself.
Great idea.
Yeah, not following the typical, she's either dead or she gets returned to the Mirror Universe at the episode's end. She sticks around in the proper universe. And now she's going to be, I think, she is part of. She actually appears in episode 3 of the 2nd season of Star Trek Discovery as a security consultant for a little known department called Section 31. Which I know is fantastic.
So cool.
So within canon, you have this the Mirror Universe Empress, who has vast amounts of knowledge from the Mirror Universe, but also vast amounts of avarice, manipulation, and just deceptiveness. She is just a twisted character who you love to hate to love, and so she's going to be having her own show. They are spinning her off into her own, and I haven't heard any other details, but I actually want to see that show even more than I want to see Discovery.
Absolutely.
When she's on the 3rd episode of Discovery, which hopefully some listeners will be catching up to soon, and hopefully my co-host will be catching up to soon.
I'll get there.
Oh,
I'll
my
get
goodness.
there.
She's magnetic. You cannot take your eyes off of her, and you want to know everything she's doing and everywhere she's gone, and you just want to see where this thing goes.
Speaking of the Captain Picard series, there's a new author that came aboard.
Yes, novelist Michael Chabon.
Yeah, The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay,
and also Wonder Boys.
Yes,
yes. A little earlier callback, but yeah, great author, great writer.
Yeah.
He also wrote I think the 2nd of the Star Trek Discovery shorts in between season 1 and season 2 of Discovery. CBS All Access produced some of these like 10, 12, 15-minute shorts, which were, again, the scuttlebutt around those shorts were that they had the sets built, and they basically wanted a revenue generator in between seasons, because you had monthly subscribers who basically will come back when Star Trek comes back on.
What happens?
So it's like, hey, for these 3 months, we're just gonna. So they over the course of like 2 or 3 months, they released these 4 episodes, these minisodes, and of course they're completely low budget, just repurposing sets and this and that. Although I have to admit, they're very high quality. I was very impressed. I really liked the Ensign Tilly episode. They did a Harry Mudd episode with Rainn Wilson.
I always wanted J.J. Abrams to do a Harry Mudd film. I really did. I mean, Khan. Yeah, it's been done before, but I have a thing for Harry Mudd.
Completely off topic. So Alex Kurtzman, who is the showrunner.
Sure.
and who is heavily connected to J.J. Abrams and Abramsverse. He was one of the producers on Lost with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
So he wrote the some of the. I think they I can't remember what publisher published the Abramsverse like prequel comic books, but they released a mini series or a couple like maybe like standalone issues right before Star Trek Into Darkness. And there's a line in when they're in Into Darkness, when they're about to get onto the faux Millennium Falcon ship that smuggler ship. That's like, okay, well,
we get it. Yeah.
They refer to the mud incident,
Nice.
and it's in the comic book that Alex Kurtzman wrote. That's how they got the ship, and I don't know exactly what the story is, but it's actually, I think it's Harry Mudd's daughter who they get the ship from. So they just tie that in.
Very cool.
Beautiful. So what they're doing with the Rainn Wilson Harry Mudd is fantastic, and I will not spoil anything of the if you want to watch any of those minisodes. But that one is my favorite just because it's beautiful, and Rainn Wilson, who directed the episode,
did he really?
Is phenomenal. Wow. Yeah. So Michael Chabon,
wow,
again, great writer. I believe he wrote the second episode minisode, and it's again, I won't spoil anything, but it's about a human who's kind of an offshoot pioneer from this planet who gets lost because his ship gets damaged, and he gets picked up by Discovery, but it's not what you think it is. So
Gotcha.
it's just a fascinating little microcosm episode, and obviously it has two people. It's basically a 2-person play.
Very cool.
On the set of the Discovery. So yeah, they're really good. Again, it was probably a cash grab, or it was probably how do we get people to subscribe for for 3 months? But the results, again, they'll probably be on the Blu-ray release of season 2. So everyone who does not get the subscription will eventually be able to see them. But fantastic,
awesome stuff to look forward to. I mean, and I just heard saw a tweet actually about Michael Giacchino, the composer of the Abramsverse Star Treks.
Yeah.
He's going to direct one of them. And I think this is kind of his second outing as a director. He has been signed on to do one of the shorts. That's going to be an animated version.
That's awesome.
So look out for that in the coming months, weeks, years. Not years, no. Star Trek moves fast. So the only other thing I was going to say, news-wise, is that there is, if any of you like collecting miniatures, and with me, with Star Trek miniatures and starships, and it's a, I have to admit to you, I'm going to pay you guys like $400 an hour because this is going to be a therapy session for me, but I have to come out and say I am a huge collector of things like that. And
as am I.
And it does a funny thing to my wallet in the sense that it makes it freaking shrink every time, and I have no money. And my wife always asks me, "Where's your money?" And I say, Star Trek took it because of all the neat little ships. Anyway, there's a tiny little replica of the captain's chair that's coming out. That is 1/6 scale. So basically, it's about 8 inches tall by such. It totally works. So little buttons on there will have different sounds. Everything will be. It's an incredible replica. It's going to be. It's going to be powered by either USB, a mini USB plug, or 3 AA batteries. So actually, it's going to be on Think Geek if you want to take a look at that. But this thing, it looks amazing, and I just have to come out and tell you guys that's one of my big
weaknesses.
Vices.
As it is mine. Yeah, collectibles, miniatures. And they are not a sponsor of this podcast.
No, they're not.
We're definitely open to discussions.
Absolutely.
Or donations or anything. Eagle Moss. EagleMoss.com has the Star Trek Starship miniatures in several scales. I've seen, and thankfully I have not gone down that rabbit hole yet. I'm a huge collector of Star Wars and Star Trek miniatures, Micro Machine scale. And I've collected several different variations, through the years. And since Eagle Moss is coming out with some of the Discovery ships, which look phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they do such a good job.
I am horribly tempted, and eventually it'll probably come down to to doing that. But Eagle Moss, anyone out there in the audience who loves Star Trek collectibles, miniatures, spaceships. EagleMoss.com.
It's an incredible time to collect those kind of things because they do such an amazing job on the detail.
Yeah.
Really cool.
The only other news I think that we had was Episode 4, Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
The introduction of number 1, classic Star Trek, actually pre Where No Man Has Gone Before episode, the original pilot of Star Trek, The Cage, 1966, filmed in 1965, never aired in totality until much later. And again, listeners, please correct me and put me straight on the chronology there. But was originally played by Majel Barrett.
Gene Roddenberry's buddy. Let's just say that.
They were pretty tight. They were good friends.
Everyone knows, probably.
Mrs. Gene Roddenberry eventually.
Yes.
Also, Orion Slave Girl.
Yes.
And voice of the Enterprise D.
Mm-hmm.
And also mother of Deanna Troi in The Next Generation. Just a beautiful character. And so the current incarnation of number 1 is played by Rebecca Romaine.
Yes.
Also, previously Rebecca Romaine Stamos, but she kicked John Stamos to the curb, and now she's
lovely. On her own.
Yeah, she's tracking the stars.
She's free, so get ready for a call.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying.
But I've watched the episode, and she's fantastic.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah, she's. I've read a little bit about her performance and her style, and she said she's channeling the original, and she's like I'm playing her as just kind of a tough broad. And she orders a milkshake and cheeseburger in the episode, and so I think she's just got that femme fatale kind of flavor to her.
I mean the dark hair helps to that too.
Absolutely,
it just gives a nice period look, nice retro look too, and I'm looking forward to that. See, these are a lot of the things that if you don't know, I mean if you just read the articles on Star Trek Discovery right now, I think a lot of times you're going to find that it's just all going to be negative because a lot of people are just trying to compare all the time to what they loved and what they grew up with. And that's kind of the age-old thing, it's what you grew up with that you're going to hold closest to you. But I'll tell you what, there's so much content coming out that, you would have to keep on top of this or at least dip your toe into it, and the fan in you will make you want to dip your toe a little bit more just because it's just so much good content. And, if certain things aren't for you, then there are the shorts. If the shorts aren't for you, then there's the regular series. And, you've got so many different choices, but give these a try. It's
golden age for content, and it's an embarrassment of riches because there's just so much greatness out there right now. And I'm even talking outside of just Star Trek, but it's great for Star Trek. And again, if this series isn't for you, just wait a couple months. You're going to have 2 or 3 more.
Oh yeah,
Trek franchises in the making.
They're coming. That's it for news right now. Coming up, we are going to take a look at the Star Trek Captain's Log. See, I had a Shatner in my head, but now I can't do him right now.
I used to be so good. I think we've discussed this before. My Jean-Luc Picard sometimes goes into Sean Connery.
Oh yeah,
which my wife will nag me incessantly about. It's like, that's Sean Connery. I'm like, no, it's Engage. And this is a recent phenomenon. My Shatner, which has been decent, and maybe I'll roll it out, starts rolling into Nixon.
Into Nixon?
Yeah, so like, Captain's Log. He's like, no, that's not even close. So it's just weird, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much of my life, I always just kept going, Spock.
Why? Spock.
I have to get the right space around me. Spock. Spock.
What?
Anyway,
What?
Captain's
Oh.
log. Captain's log.
Denny Crane.
I could do this all day too to my
Yeah.
son and my wife's
As they have me hauled away.
as they're driving away and leaving me on the side of the road. And
Just put your thumbprint here, and okay, we are committing you.
so we're going to be talking about captains. Captains.
Who is the best Star Trek captain of all? And let's roll call.
And I really wanted. I didn't want to prepare for this too much because I didn't want to think about it because I wanted
Going
to think
fresh.
on mic.
Yeah.
Fresh. So you listeners out there are getting the first feel of what I am
raw
going through.
emotion.
Raw emotion here. I'm
right.
going through. The
I'm just gonna let's rattle them off.
Rattle them
Do we
off.
want to include Pike? Let's go Pike.
I think so.
Yeah, because Weather's great. Christopher Pike. Robert April, even though we've never seen him other than in an animated and maybe some comic books. James Tiberius Kirk.
Absolutely.
Dun, 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 dun. Captain Spock.
Captain Spock.
Spock was a
right.
captain.
He was a captain.
for a minute or three.
Ooh, see, this is going to throw this whole thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Then let's jump forward to Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard. We have Captain Benjamin Sisko. We have Captain Catherine Janeway. Catherine Janeway, thank you. We have Captain Jonathan Archer. Jon, Jonathan, not a John, and played by the wonderful Scott Bakula on Star Trek Enterprise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then this is where we have a deviation in kind of the mix. In Star Trek Discovery, it really doesn't focus on the captain. Spoiler alert! Sorry, Claxons. Spoiler alert! The captain of the Starship Discovery is a bad guy. He is actually from the Mirror Universe. He is Captain Lorca, and the show really focuses on the secondary character. And Starship Discovery really focuses on. It doesn't focus on the Captain Lorca, who spoiler alert is the villain of the first season, but it focuses on a secondary character, not even second in command, secondary character Michael Burnham.
Okay.
So I think we can not include Discovery in this kind of roll call prioritization list. What do you think?
Well, so far, I mean, I think I have one that really stands out. I mean, one that really does. I mean, one from my youth, obviously.
Data.
Yeah. My first indication was I used to really like Pike, but I think Pike is way too passionate. And he kind of follows his own.
Well, and you don't have a history with him. I mean, you have again.
You don't.
You have an idea that he had a 5-year mission.
Yeah, absolutely.
And other than from secondary media, and maybe the J.J. Abrams movies where you actually have you have this guy who again had adventures, but for all intents and purposes, this is his first adventure, and he gets captured.
Absolutely.
And so you love him, and he's the father figure, and he's in that universe's he is Captain Kirk, Jim Kirk's father figure.
Yeah.
But you don't get to follow him with a caveat. In Discovery, you do get to. I mean, you get.
Sure.
Now I've got 4 episodes with a new guy who's playing Pike, who's a great stand-in for all of these other Pikes. And I'm not being dismissive to the actor who's playing the Discovery Pike. He's doing a darn good job, and he's like. He's the replacement captain on Discovery, so he's like, I'm just filling in for this short period of whatever. So they know he's temporary. And in the past, Pike, he was a great captain, but you hear about it.
Oh yeah. It's always in passing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
but okay, my favorite right now, or the best captain.
The best captain, I think, is what we're going with.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, if we go favorite, then I think I would mention the obvious probably, but the best captain to me is Picard.
All right.
In my opinion, just because I think there's a wisdom there. There is, and we'll get to stats on some of these characters too, because that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But his wisdom is pretty pretty heavy. He's got a certain amount of wisdom, and you can tell there's knowledge there with him too. So, captains sometimes don't have to take on the fight to them directly. It's going to be alluded to that he has a passion, later on with the Borg and all that story.
But he needs it, and that actually
absolutely he needs that.
Saves the day.
So for him at least, I think he carries himself the best as a captain. That's my opinion.
No, I you haven't swayed me.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I independently, I was considering all those things because again, what is a captain is a leader. And is a leader of a crew.
He knows how to delegate.
And he delegates, absolutely. He surrounds himself with the best. And he surrounds himself with the best in the areas that he might not even be lacking, but he's not the best in some of these areas. And I think that's a captain is great at these 7 things. However, they don't have to be a 10 plus in each of these categories because they have a crew. They could do some of these things.
Sure.
But they know that I'm going to trust my people, and he trusts his people implicitly. Where with Captain Kirk, you have you have the hero, you have the archetypal hero,
absolutely,
who has to be at the front of the forefront of the action, who is never a secondary character. And again, this is it. Maybe it's the way that those adventures are written. Maybe it's the way that film and television was created at the time. It wasn't an ensemble, and let's be honest. William Shatner wasn't the best sharer. From all accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So there was they basically had their triumvirate. They had Bones, Spock, and Kirk, and they were they were the spear point on the storytelling. In Next Generation, you had much more of a collaboration, much more of a cast of characters that were able to share, and you got to follow some of these over here and some of these over there. And again, if the old series had been produced today or later or had gone longer, you might have seen a couple episodes about Sulu and Chekhov, and
absolutely
instead of like, okay, they were the foils for this thing that then the triumvirate solved. And then but Captain Kirk is, again, we're going on stats, fantastic in some areas and weak in other areas, and he was able to delegate within his core, but he was always the focus. The chair was the center, where with Picard, he shared it with these 2 other people, and he shared it often with a variety of other characters.
Yeah, it was a great visual.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, having the couch.
Come on in.
Hey,
come on, let's just watch.
Sit on the couch here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Worf, you come on down.
Yeah.
Come on down, buddy. I don't want you back there. But Yar, no, you stop the black slime thing, Yar. Yeah, you go out there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yikes.
She took it right in there.
Oh man,
that
made me lean back in my couch.
Gonna need another Tasha, everybody.
That's right.
Can we get a replacement?
So okay, if you guys have a favorite captain out there, and it may be different, and
best captain.
Your best captain.
Right.
That's
and we should
best
delineate
captain.
because again, favorite captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I love Picard, but
you know what, that kind of brings up a point here. I'm wondering too, is that okay? My favorite captain obviously is James T. Kirk.
Jimmy.
I love Jim Kirk because he never likes to lose, right?
Yeah.
Do you want him on board though?
No, and
that's
again,
what I always wondered.
He takes risks.
Yes,
and again, he usually comes through, and he's usually right. But he's
you don't want to gamble your crew.
He's a maniac. He's the Fox Mulder of starship captains.
Absolutely.
He's right most of the time, and his crazy theories. And again, he's got Spock, and he's got Scotty, and he's got Bones, to back him up, and they are the best of the best of the best.
Sure.
But I mean, if you again we're cross-pollinating universe, but Fox Mulder is a maniac. He is a crazy man, and if he weren't David Duchovny and so good looking and so charming and so handsome, you'd be like, lock this freak up because he's going to get us all killed, even though he's right. And
give him a desk job stat.
Yeah, get him tied to it. Yeah. Make him an admiral because
Get him. Yeah.
But I mean, he's for and this is the beauty of the old series is that that as civilized and as not even militaristic, but as orderly as everything was. There was he broke rules left and right.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, this is canon, but it might be one of those elements that you missed or forgot. But this tracks the scenario with the Botany Bay that brought about Khan Noonien Sun and the 98
the eugenics wars.
That entire episode, the reason that Chekhov and the Reliant landed on that planet and didn't really know the scenario about it, that wasn't in the records, and it didn't dawn on Chekhov that SETI Alpha 5 or SETI Alpha 6.
SETI Alpha 6.
That's where the Botany Bay was because according to the original Space Seed episode, he just never logged that. That never happened. He put them on there so that they could they could exist and create their own paradise, which was the Space Seed. This is the seed to a what if this eugenically propagated species of human geniuses and warlords just had their own planet. It's a peaceful planet, or not even peaceful, a paradise planet. And that was the understanding. And he's like, and Starfleet doesn't need to know about this because space is big. And that obviously bit him in the butt, and that is part of the that's part of the lesson, I think, of that ruling. I would rather rule in hell than serve in paradise.
Serve in paradise.
That came to ultimate fruition with Khan and the obsession between the two. But that's indicative of Kirk's hubris as judge, jury, and executioner, and that maybe we should put this in the record this in the log. We can still do this. I'm sure as a starship captain in the frontier, you still have the authority, but maybe we should report this. Maybe we should put that on a map. Maybe we should quarantine the planet or whatnot. No, we don't need it. And so as you said, he just does things that can have the potential of these consequences. But hey, I'm James T. Kirk. I can do these things. And again, it's his hubris, it's his ego, he's larger than life. He's often right. 19 out of 20 times.
But when he's wrong,
it has catastrophic consequences.
Exactly.
And so as a captain, I want to be around this guy. I mean, I want to be on the ship, and I want to be part of the cool gang. But you're never, you're in the cool guy's orbit.
Yeah. You're going to be, if not for the computer replicating food and creating food out of, energy, basically, you would run out of food. You would run out of drink with this guy. Just because he's just, he engenders that among the crew. Yeah. He engenders that just among, obviously, the way he is. He knows how to deal with something in his own way. He knows how to reason with something in his own way.
Yeah.
And then when he's done, he forgets about it, Whereas everybody else with a basic conscience might go, "Wait, this is going to keep me up at night."
Yeah, you should have been court-martialed 17 times.
He knows how to compartmentalize really well, which is a good sociopath, I think.
I don't think it's an accident that his middle name is Tiberius, and that several times in the original series he was referred to as a tyrant.
As a tyrant,
a tin-plated tyrant.
When we talk about the perfect captain, then we talk about the only thing I can think of is the only thing that came to my mind was D&D stats.
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, really, I mean, come on, D&D, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Hit pause, go learn about it, come back.
That's it. You build a character. Building a character consists of what? Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Charisma. Yeah. So basically you create this character. Before we even start, what do you think? I mean, the perfect captain, strength, what would be the perfect captain? Because the rating is basically from 3 points. You assign points to each of these characteristics. So strength can go from 3 to 18. 18 is the strongest, obviously.
That's the max.
What would you give the perfect Star Trek captain?
Yeah, and before I get into definitive stats, I think let's level set with, what's important, and we're talking about a starship captain.
Yes.
And so there are some attributes that are more important than others. That in situations being less or average are is going to cost you. But again, what do you need? What do you need to be a starship captain? Where's that baseline? And looking at the other two captains. Spock is great. Spock is great, but he was never a great captain. He was a great training captain, which is why he was the. He's a great teacher.
Great, yeah.
But when again the. And there's always you're the only ship in the quadrant, Jim, and and we need an experienced crew. That happens every movie.
It's probably mainly because of Kirk. Put him out there.
Just
that's why you're the only ship in the quadrant.
But Captain Spock rightly said, you're my superior in this, and I have no ego to bruise, and da 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 da. And again, that's why he was a training captain and not the captain of a battle-hardened crew. But so we'll dismiss him for a second. But of Cisco and Janeway, the other captains that we love you, we really do. But you're not going to compete against Picard and sorry, and Archer.
Give us
reasons.
Archer, if you don't agree,
listeners, please disagree.
Let us know.
And also, I will admit for both of us, and I think this is true. We're products of our time, of the generations that we come from. That hey, my favorite James Bond is Roger Moore because he was the one in theaters when I was a kid.
Absolutely,
I love Connery. I love Lazenby. I love Dalton. I love Pierce Brosnan, and I certainly love Casino Royale.
Daniel Craig.
My goodness.
Yeah. See, that's our age showing suddenly.
Oh my God! It's like,
what's that guy's name? That one fella. One guy.
I love him in a Speedo, but what a Speedo boy.
He's a humdinger. That guy. A humdinger.
And they're all fantastic.
Sure.
But Roger Moore will always be my James Bond because, and again, Captain Kirk will always be my captain because he was my captain. And I'm sure there are some millennials. Sure. Hopefully, there's some millennials listening that Jonathan Archer was. He was the prototype. Da 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 da.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it too. I mean, I would like to hear from what they have to say.
certainly from the standpoint of the time and generation and how epic Catherine Janeway was and what she endured and what she did and how she managed a crew versus the style of Captain Kirk. I absolutely concur that she is a fantastic and that she has just the right attributes. And so this takes it to what we were talking about, the attributes. Janeway was, and I'm not even going to say a serviceable captain. She was a great captain again who kept that crew alive, but she kept it through high intelligence. She was a scientist.
Yes.
Not I'm sure she was good with a pulse gun and all that, but she was not a warrior. But she had to surround herself with the Maquis, that she was after, to really take on some of their guerrilla tactics to keep them alive. So she was smart enough. So high intelligence. She's not. She's weaker.
Yeah.
Physical strength. She was not a physical person. I'll even say she, even in charisma was not that high. We can argue that, but she didn't need to be. She had trust and loyalty with her knit group. She didn't have she wasn't like Picard who had 1,000 people on his ship. She had 100 and some on her ship. She knew everybody by name. And a lot of wisdom, but not high on dexterity, constitution, or strength, and she didn't need to. And
absolutely,
and you don't.
There are other people for that. Yeah.
You have you didn't get bored all that often.
That's actually a good question now, or a good point that I came to is that I wonder if Starfleet then, when you're assigning different ranks to the different starship, this starship's going to be comprised of this, and then all of a sudden, your captain there, you're probably it's almost like casting someone.
Yeah.
It's almost like, we got this guy, and then we need compliments around this person.
Yeah.
So in the case of Janeway, different mold here.
Yeah.
We're going a different direction. So, we're going to have to stock the rest of the crew this way. And then, so that's probably why, we're talking about when you're casting, at least a cast, it's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
In a way where, Starfleet has to say, this, not everything can be the cookie cutter, because it's going to have to take a different starship with a different personality to come in and
Deep Space Nine, case in point.
Absolutely.
You have we have a star, a star base that we've taken over. It's a Cardassian base that we've in occupied space that we've liberated, and we're taking
and not Kardashian. It's not Kardashian. It's just it's different.
The Federation did
two
fight
different things.
The Kardashians once, but completely different.
Oh yeah,
episodes.
It's very ugly. You don't want to see the YouTubes on that.
No, it's ugly. But with and so he's very security minded.
Yeah.
He's a little paranoid. I mean,
sure.
And I'm not going to say his intelligence is any less. He's very, very intelligent, but he was stronger, a little more action oriented. Although in the first couple seasons, not as much. And not, he was very wise. He did have that depth of wisdom. But charisma. He had to meet people. He had to be somewhat diplomatic. But he was not a first contact diplomat.
Gotcha.
And just needed to be different. But then when and where he shined and where Sisko got promoted to captain, he was a commander originally.
Yeah.
Was when the war broke out. He was a wartime captain.
That's it.
The situation called for different, required different attributes. I think we are ready to roll.
We're ready to roll. We're going to create our own Star Trek captain right now. Strength, dexterity, charisma, or no, strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence,
wisdom.
Charisma. And we do it the only classic way we know how to do, of course.
20-sided die.
Listen to that. Okay.
Or 3-6.
3 dice 6.
Three dice 6, yeah.
There's 1 dice 6. I'm going to do a little shard.
Oh, look at that. That is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, I know. I have a ton of dice that...
my son...
It's just insane.
Became a dice hoard. And he doesn't. We don't actually play anything with any of the multi-sided dice, but he's collected them. And my niece, who got married 2 summers ago, gave my son, who was he was the ring bearer, and my daughter, who was the flower girl for her wedding, gave them these little dice boxes. So these little wooden engraved dice boxes.
Very cool.
Had so I think my daughter was neutral good. and it has the definition on the engraved in the box, and it's beautiful. And my son was chaotic neutral, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, he is. Yeah.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, just unpredictable.
Oh, man.
He's crazy.
So we're going to do this here real quick. This is going to be the closer to our program. Find us on Facebook, Where No Pod Has Gone Before. Look for us on Instagram, Where No Pod Has Gone Before. And YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. That's where the podcast is.
Hokey smokes.
Where No Pod Has Gone Before. That's Where No Pod Has Gone Before.
Oh.
Get in touch with us, please, because we're going to pose this out to you right now. We're going to create this character, and we're going to stick to the rolls.
Yep.
So if we roll a 3...
This is how it goes.
We're sticking to it. Yeah. So let us know who you would cast as this captain.
Interjection here, as you said, where we will have to do an episode on Will Wheaton one of these days.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
go.
All right.
I meant to say gosh, but it came out as gush.
Gush.
So maybe that is gush.
I don't
Maybe
know.
it's
Maybe
it's Freudian.
Freudian
I don't
slip
know.
there. I don't know.
Will Wheaton, get ready.
All right, here we go. Okay, all right.
Here we go.
This is
First
our
roll.
captain, generic captain of where no pod has gone before.
This is our generic captain. Okay, I'm rolling the dice right now. Here we
This is
go.
strength.
Ready?
All right.
This is strength. We're rolling for strength. Here we go. Oh, boy.
Okay. A 6, a 1, and a
4, 6, 4, and 3.
13
13
strength. This
strength.
is
Yikers.
not. This is a bulky man
Yikers.
or woman.
Yikers. It could be a woman.
be a woman,
too.
yeah.
You never know. Here, I'm going to switch dice as
Yep,
we go.
all right, here we go.
There's some dice
Now
that
we're
are
rolling for dex.
dexterity. Dexterity. That means jumping around.
That means dodge.
Let's see. A 5, and a 2.
Wow, 12 is not shabby for
Oh,
dexterity.
they're strong and
Very, very, very
man.
athletic.
oh, let's try.
Constitution. Okay, this
Constitution.
is your health points. This is how well you can resist alien diseases.
Oh yeah, you can stand up under stress.
That's right.
Oh, just all those good things. Here we go. Constitution is
everyone.
as follows:
That's 6,
3 and a 3.
12.
Wow,
That is,
this person is pretty beefy. A little
Yeah.
beefy here.
and we will read our Kirk and Picard stats to make a comparison. I think that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I'll post a picture of all the stats here and on the podcast. So what are we rolling for now?
This is intelligence.
Intelligence.
All right.
Intelligence.
So this is making your. Can I engineer my way out of this?
And incidentally, with each roll, I'm using a different set of dice, so there's no monkey business going on. You know, we're not going to have a superhuman, but looks like we got something going here with this character here.
I'd follow this person into. Oh, we have a 6 intelligence. Okay, so
Withstand anything dumb as Samsonite.
dumb as This is a. He's a little smarter than Green Hulk. He has the intellect of a very bright 4th grader.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we're rolling for wisdom.
Wisdom.
This is going to be interesting. Okay.
So in the classic D&D, wisdom the like a willpower. The wisdom helps you with spells.
Yeah.
And okay, all right.
And it helps you with spells, and it also helps you withstand certain spells as well, like
Okay.
of the mind and things.
Sure,
so
sure.
wisdom kind of helps you disseminate.
Yeah, it's a little bit of will. It's a
it's-
little bit of mental constitution.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's not book smart the way intelligence is.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. We're rolling for wisdom.
Wow. And who?
Oh, okay. A 6, a 3, and a 2.
All right. So 11.
11.
All right. He's a wise dumb person.
Wow.
Dumb
Wow.
strong. Yeah. Strong.
Interesting little stats here. Here we go. Then the next one is
His charisma.
charisma.
This is where we land.
Charisma, that's basically how you come across to other people, right?
Yeah. This is your personality. This is your wit. This is your charm.
So, in essence, what we had for wisdom or charisma with Kirk, we had what, 15?
15,
You think
yes.
that's fair?
I think that's very fair. He's
Okay.
very charismatic. He comes
What-
across as charming. Whereas Picard is a 14.
Okay.
A little less, but he has his own charm, and
Okay.
certainly he was a ladies' man, even though it wasn't, wasn't
Yeah.
as overt.
Okay. This is charisma. We're going for charisma on this one.
And he has a 6. So, I don't know. Did having watched a couple episodes of Discovery and knowing Lorca and kind of knowing like his, I don't find him that charismatic. I mean,
Yeah.
again, he is
Yeah,
not
I don't.
he is not the captain. Because he puts fear into
Yes.
people, and he he bludgeons you egotistically. He definitely browbeats his crew and kind of mentally manipulates their own insecurities, which is more I would put his wisdom pretty high.
Yeah.
Because he obviously has that, but I don't know if it's 6 low, but it's
Wow.
pretty low.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and this is just my opinion. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or Lorca, because I don't find him that charismatic.
He's not that. To me, is not. I agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So we got a guy who is strong. I'll post this online so you can look at it, and we can make our own judgments, and you can cast who you want as this captain. Doesn't have to be a male. It can be female. So it can be whatever you want. Could be a Vulcan too. Well, no, not with that intelligence. Yeah, absolutely. So give us your guesses on there. For me, immediately, it would be a guy who's a security guy who has been through a lot of battle.
Yeah.
And maybe is scarred in some way because of the charisma's low.
Do you remember Star Trek Beyond?
Yes.
The most recent. The captain character, played by Idris Elba, plays the captain of the ship that crash landed on this planet that ultimately becomes the villain of the movie. But he is a physical presence.
Absolutely.
He is. He has these physical stats, definitely, and probably even the wisdom, willpower stats. And this is this is not a ding on Idris Elba but the character, his plot fell into place, but it was a stupid plot. It was a stupid plan that, and especially and then I'm going to go destroy Earth with all this blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Technology. But I would say because it's not like he engineered this technology that was catastrophic. Maybe not 6 intelligence, but I would say that he was a warrior. He was a fighter, and he even said so. But his intelligence was definitely not as high as a Kirk or a Picard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
definitely not the master tactician. Which is why, again, four guys basically take down your entire empire.
4 guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I would say that maybe that's your archetype here, where it's like, this guy will beat you with your own arm, but you might get one over on him.
you might get a couple over. Yeah, absolutely. So let us know what your thoughts on that captain that we just created. So all of our news is done. Do we have anything else to cover other than that? Episode 4 is in the bank, and let me just say thanks for the follows and for the friendships on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Go to YouTube. That's where you get all the good podcasts, and possibly we can get ourselves on the Apple platform here pretty soon. So I think we just need a little bit more content. But until we do that, keep catching up with us on all these platforms. And if you have any questions, comments, ideas, let us know, because we can even let you on the podcast as well and just kind of chat with us over the phone. We have the ability to do that here in Ludicrous Speed Studios. Is that what we're calling it this week? Or is it Wormhole Studios?
This week it's Wormhole Studios.
Wormhole Studios.
That's right.
And if you have an idea of what to call our studios, let us know as well.
Yeah, no sound effects, no flushing, no gas, no gaseous anomaly.
We've already gone over those gags, especially with the Captain's Law.
Wah, wah.
All right. Well, that does it here for this episode of Where No Pod Has Gone Before. And as always, I am Farcicist.
And I am Argyle. And thank you for joining us where no pod has gone before.
Get in touch with the podcast at podbefore@gmail.com. That's podbefore@gmail.com. You can catch us on YouTube, Where No Pod Has Gone Before. You can catch us on Facebook, Where No Pod Has Gone Before. Keep in touch with us. And if you have any questions, comments, please let us know. And for now, this is the Farcicist saying, straight on till morning.
Kick action.
Media.